Alrighty guys, and welcome back to this week's shrine. Now I actually had a special treat for you guys. I haven't personally looked at the shrine or changed the page since last week, so I'm going to be doing that right now, and you can see my expressions, my reactions based on the perks that are going to be available. Let's have a look. Well, alright, let's talk about the perks that we've got right here. Now the first one we got is Boil Over. Now Boil Over is an interesting teachable. It comes into the game through Kate Denson, which it says right there. What does Boil Over allow you to do? Basically, when the killer picks you up and you're on the killer's shoulder, when you wiggle left and right, the killer sidesteps 25% larger in terms on the ground, making it harder to get through doorways, get around obstacles. It's a very useless perk, I'm not going to lie to you. That being said, it also makes hooks that are more than 10 meters away from the killer to be obscured, so the killer can't see them unless he's physically looking at them. So, that being said, I don't like this perk at all. I think you should definitely save your shards. I personally would not get it at all. I would avoid it. It's a really bad perk. It's never a good choice. Honestly, Flip Flop is a better choice, and Flip Flop isn't a great choice either. Let's move on to the next perk, guys, and have a bit of another look. Alright, what are we looking at? Oh, and to point out, that's at tier 1, 25%. Then it goes 50 and 75%. So 75% bigger strides on the killers left and right. Not really that great. Alright, Buckle Up. What does Buckle Up do? Basically, when there is a slug on the ground, or a downed survivor, as they're referred to in Dead by Daylight, a slug. So when there is a downed survivor somewhere in the trial, basically their aura will glow depending on how close they are to being recovered. So the closer they are, if they're at 85% recovered, you know, they're going to be glowing a nice greeny color, so you can walk over and you can pick them up straight away. That being said, when you pick up a survivor from dying state, you're, as you can see here, the survivor and yourself see the killer's aura for 4 seconds. The killer doesn't get to see you, but you know roughly where the killer is too. That being said, it does triumph things like a pig crouching, which would give her undetectable status. Don't know why, that's just how it works. Now, Buckle Up isn't, yet again, another great perk, as you can see by the expression that I showed when I saw the perks. It's not really fantastic. It is a DLC perk from Ashley. The only way you're going to be able to get this perk is through purchasing Ashley, or that DLC that he comes in with. That being said, I honestly don't think it's a phenomenal choice. There are better choices on the table. I wouldn't use my shards buying this. Now, the next perk we've got right now is called Devour Hope. Now, what does Devour Hope do? Devour Hope used to be a hidden gem in Dead by Daylight. Now that the meta is currently a little bit into heavily doing gen, so gen rushing as it's referred to, Devour Hope gets a little bit less value. That being said, it is on a totem. Now, one totem at the start of the trial will randomly start glowing. That will be your Hex Devour Hope. That being said, Hex Devour Hope does nothing until you have 2 tokens. To get a token, you need to down a survivor, hook a survivor, and that survivor needs to be saved outside of 24 yards of where you currently are. Even if you have a 0 meter heartbeat, you still need to be 24 meters away. The totem will, or the perk in the bottom right hand side of the screen will glow, allowing you to know you're outside of the range for somebody to be saved. When that survivor gets saved, you'll hear a ding sound, and there'll be a 1. And that goes all the way up to 5. But I just want to quickly mention, if a Pyramid Head sends somebody to a cage, and that person is saved, that does not count as a Devour Hope stack. At 2 tokens, when you hook a survivor, you get 3% movement speed for 10 seconds. Really not that great. The next one is at 3 tokens. At 3 tokens, all M1s in the game you do, whether that's a Nurse Blink M1, whether that's a Hillbilly M1, it only affects your M1. Therefore, your special ability, such as a Legion's Fell Frenzy, will not benefit from this at all. Neither will a Pig's Ambush or a Demogorgon Shred. Your M1, so your left click, or your auto attack, whatever you want to refer to it as, will down a survivor in 1 hit, unless they have something that's going to triumph that, like Borrowed Time, like Soul Guard, and they just got up, like Metal of Man. If they do not have any of that, you'll do 2 points of damage in the auto hit from 1. Therefore, that's what makes this perk really good. However, when that happens, the survivors will know that they're under a curse on the right-hand side of the screen. They'll get a notification saying that Devour Hope is actually active. Therefore, players will find it more inclining to find Devour Hope before you get 5 tokens. At 5 tokens, when you down a survivor, you can kill them on their location. You don't have to hook them. It doesn't matter if you've prior hooked them like a Mori does. All you can do is you can just execute them on the spot. If you have 3 tokens, or 4, or 5, however many tokens, and the totem is destroyed, all effects that the totem provides will go with the totem being broken. Therefore, it can be really hard to try and protect the totem and apply pressure to survivors and be able to eat through jungle gyms. Therefore, Devour Hope is a little bit on the fence on how strong it is now, unless you're running it with maybe something like Thrill of the Hunt. I personally don't think it is the grandest or the greatest perk in the game anymore. I did have a lot of fun running it with Agitation and Barbecue on my Nurse to get those hooks done real quick. Now, the next perk we're looking at is Iron Maiden. And actually, Iron Maiden isn't a bad choice. I want to point out this is a Hag teachable, unlocked at level 35. Really great perk for the fact that the Hag isn't a killer in Dead by Daylight in the base game, you have to purchase her through either shards or Ordric cells. So if you do have a couple of shards left, you can pick up Devour Hope. It'll work maybe 1 in 15, 1 in 10 games, depending on your rank, of course. That being said, it's an okay perk, and you will have to purchase the DLC if you want to get it. I don't mind it. I think it's an okay, like I said, it's an okay perk. It's not great. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden, based on the base kit in Dead by Daylight, will only really affect one killer above all else. It's going to affect the Huntress. It basically allows you to check a locker 30, 40, and 50% quicker. Yes, it does stack with the add-on that allows the Huntress to check lockers quicker as well. It is a yellow add-on. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. Iron Maiden will allow you to, if there is a survivor in the locker, you also grab them out and put them over your shoulder at a much quicker rate as well. That being said, when a Huntress uses 5 hatchets by default, because she only starts with 5, she can have more or she can have less depending on the add-ons, such as Iridescent Head and Infantry Belt. Those are examples. She can basically reload at a much quicker rate, allowing her to get back into the battle quicker. Now, I do like Iron Maiden on an Infectious Fright Hillbilly if I know what map I'm going to, such as the game, but at the same time, it is not a really great perk for somebody like the Trapper. People do commonly use Iron Maiden and Barbecue for the people that try and counter Barbecue by getting in a locker to reveal their location. That being said, keeping in mind, another effect with Iron Maiden is basically when a survivor comes out of a locker, whether they slow vault out, whether they fast vault out, they will scream, raise their hands in the air, revealing their location to the killer, a little scream bubble like it was a Madness tier in Doctor, and basically the killer can one-hit down them in the next 15 seconds with an auto attack, not with a special ability, yet again with an auto attack. So a Huntress's axe will not take them down in one hit, but an M1 will take them down. Alright guys, that's going to be all for this week's shrine. Realistically, it's not a great shrine if you're a survivor main. If you're a killer main, I mean, this perk will help you with your Huntress, and it means you're not going to have to purchase Legion. Legion does come with another useful perk being Discordance, though, but is yet again another Iridescent Shard DLC. The only paid DLC here is going to be Ashley through Ordric Cells. Everything else can be unlocked through Iridescent Shards. That way, if you can see it and you think that you're a collector and you want to collect everything and you want to spend the 2,000 points, by all means. I personally don't rate the perk very great, and I don't rate Boilover fantastic as well. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this educational, informative video based on the shrine, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I do educational Survivor, Dead by Daylight, and killer content all the time over here live at Twitch if you guys want to tune into it. That also being said, make sure you slap that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the fog in the next video. Have a good one.